Orchestra. Please help me welcome Sunny Hilden.
Greetings! Are there any David Archuleta fans? Well, I am going to be sitting at the piano doing some songs later, but I hear that our American Idol guests, fabulous guests, have another event tonight. So I'm just going to tell a little story first instead of doing some songs right now so they can get to their other event. I, by the way, have another event too. I'm going to eat a power bar in the car. So I met David Archuleta. Does anybody know? How long ago? Okay, who's known David at least, well, since Idol? Raise your hand. How many have known him since Star Search? You went to Star Search? You saw him. Okay. So I became obsessed with American Idol when it came on. My mother back in Minnesota, don't you know, was obsessed with it too. We would fax each other back and forth. We'd have all the lists of all the singers and, oh, this one was Pitchy Dog, you know. She didn't say Pitchy Dog, but we were just obsessed with it. I used to enter talent contests as a little kid, you know. This business we call show. And so we were obsessed with it because she would play the piano for me and I would play Mozart on the oboe and then I'd sing People, and I won like 11 contests back in Minnesota. And so when this came on TV, we were just like, oh my God! So we watched every episode, and she, for the finale of the very first season, she happened to be coming out to visit me. So I surprised her with tickets for the first finale. And we were in the Kodak, and Kelly Clarkson won, and it was fabulous. And then afterwards, everybody just pours out of the Kodak and goes to the Hollywood and Highland area, where there's this big circular, well, square stage just out in view of everyone. But you can't really hear what they're saying, but they're all just doing their interviews with Fox News and Entertainment Tonight, and everybody was just watching, and there were about 10 little kids, about 8, 9, 10 years old, and they were clearly too young to be an idol, but they were just like, Randy, Paula, Simon, we want to sing for you, and they're yelling at them, and Randy's like, you know, kids, we're trying to do interviews here. And so Randy used to work at MCA A&R, and he liked some of my songs, so he pointed to me and he said, hey kids, see that blonde lady over there? Her name is Sunny Hilden. She's a great songwriter. Go sing for her. These kids, and they're like, I want to go first, I want to go first. And they're all just like little Britneys, you know. You see, like, before they were stars, just like great energy, on fire for the dream. And my mom was a choir director, you know, so we were all like channeling our inner Paula, just being very nice. They were all sharp, but we're like, well, hey, stick with it, because we really think you're onto something. And after about 10 kids, there was one kid left, and he waited politely to be last. 11-year-old boy. He's like, excuse me, would you mind if I sing for you? And we're like, yeah, sure, absolutely. And he's just like, and I'm telling you, I'm not going. And just like, who is this child? First of all, he was the most polite child I still, to this day, have ever met. And I'm including children I'm related to. But he's just the sweetest thing. And then he opens up with all this fire and passion in him. And he was 11, so he couldn't be on Idol, but I'm like, I don't care that you're too young. I just want to do whatever I can for you. Please come to my studio. And who are you? And his family was there with him. They had just flown out from Utah, just on fire for the dream, which is really one of the big keys to the whole thing. Whether you win, whether you lose, you gotta have that fire. And he had that fire. And so I took him back to my studio and wrote the first song anybody ever wrote for him, which he recorded and tried to get a deal. But they said, well, it's too positive and you're too young. And, people like pain. People like to be in pain. Well, I only write positive songs, so it was wonderful to find this little angel. And I've been writing for him ever since and been his, I don't know, he's just sort of like a nephew to me. I just love him with all my heart. And I want to do just a little bit of that first song while my mother and his aunt were upstairs on my couch. And this ties in with, go ahead and play the track. This is a really old track. This is seriously going back in the day. This is the first song anyone ever wrote for David. Oh, you can't find it, but that's okay. Sometimes we can't find our way. But what do? We shine our inner light. We shine our inner light. You know what? I don't even care if you don't have the track. Because there's a piano right over there. And I know all 88 of the keys. Yeah, that's it, baby. Rock and roll. Can you crank it up a little bit? Oh, yeah. It's already a work in progress. Well, that's all right. So, anyway, you don't have to play it if you can't find